Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. Well, that's a little loose on the board there. It's 5:56. It's the Bax and Nagle show. Of course, Bax is still out this week, so comedian Marty Caproni sitting in for in his place this week.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning, Marty. You ready to rock and roll this morning?
I'm ready to roll.
The roads are a lot better this morning than they were yesterday.
Yeah, but it took me almost as long. I was telling you on the way in, I hit every red light.
I didn't lose power, but I lost Wi-Fi at my house.
How did that go over?
It's a little tough. It's like love is a battlefield. Having no Wi-Fi at your house is a battlefield, especially with two preteens.
Oh, they took that hard, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's not a fun time to be in Huntington right now.
How much snow did you guys end up getting out there?
We didn't get that much. Like in my area, I live down more in the valley.
Yeah,
but up on the mountain,
2
they
feet.
got it was like 30 inches of snow.
Holy
it was crazy. Crap. It was nuts. But we got it pretty heavy by us, but not as bad as they did on top of the mountain.
We got like 4 or 5, but it all the rain and everything kind of smushed it down.
Smushed it.
Yeah,
see, that's what I don't like is the smush.
The smushing.
It's all slush, nasty crap. It's not
I don't remember
snow.
Dave the weather nut telling us about the smush effect.
I don't remember any of them guys telling us about any of this stuff. But anyway, we will take a break. When we come back, we'll do sports, and then we'll do Hollywood trash coming up in just a few minutes. It's 5:58 with Bax and Nagle and Marty Caproni on Rock 102. The Spirit of Spring. Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock at 6:10 in Kansas on Rock 102. Bax and Nagle show. Bax is still out, stick. I don't know. I'm not sure when exactly he will be back, but he will be back. That's a guarantee, I think.
Don't want anyone too concerned.
Comedian Marty Caproni is taking his seat for the next couple of days until we figure that out. Morning, Marty.
Morning, Steve. I'm enjoying myself. This is nice.
I'm sure you are. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be, flurries this morning and then cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. It's 36 right now in downtown Springfield. We got, we're going to do like Hollywood trash now. You know, usually we do that 15 minutes ago, but, it's weird when there's a new co-host here and I have to figure out all these buttons. Because I don't usually do this. I don't usually sit on this side of the board.
Bax is usually riding in the big chair. And
he's the one that wanted to take over this task, which I'm fine with because I wouldn't want to be behind pushing all these buttons. I can't do it.
I mean, I'm not super thrilled at the idea of ever having to do that ever in my life. So, it seems like you've got it under control, Steve.
I have it completely under control. Hey, Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Aquapump, the expert on all water supply systems from the well through the pump and into the house. And if you have storm damage affecting your water, call Aquapump in Stafford Springs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Well, it's official. Lindsay Lohan and her husband, Bader Shamas, are expecting their first child. There's no word on the sex of the baby or the due date. She's 36 years old.
Wow. You started with Lindsay Lohan and her husband, and that's not the way I figured that headline would end.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be like some divorce.
I thought divorce.
Of like a domestic dispute at the Lohan residence.
100% thought it was a divorce, cocaine-fueled divorce.
Well, she's looking forward to motherhood and snorting baby formula.
That's going to be...
Yeah.
It's going to be a great kid.
Hey, in her new book, Paris Hilton reveals that she had an inappropriate relationship with a teacher when she was in 8th grade. It didn't get further than a kiss in her driveway, and it ended when her parents came home.
Wow. That seems pretty creepy, Paris.
Well, it would be creepy on the part of the teacher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're talking about like 8th grade. She's probably 13, 14 years old.
Look, and I'm not trying to whip up Me Too hysteria, but at some point, she can't just casually throw that out there if she's never actually turned the guy in,
Well, I guess, there's a lot of people that don't turn people in for the many things that they've said over the years.
How weird is it as she said that it was her parents coming home that broke it up?
Well, yeah, the guy was probably like, oh, your parents are home. We got to go. A trailer dropped yesterday for a German movie where a guy is trapped in a porta potty on a construction site where a demolition is about to take place. The movie has a 2-word title, and the first word is holy, and you can probably figure out what the second one is.
Cow. Holy cow.
Well, unless you're already locked into Cocaine Bear. Are you locked into Cocaine Bear?
I haven't seen it yet. I know that it's based on a true story, which I find to be hilarious.
Loosely based on a true story.
Very loosely based.
There was a true story about a bear who did find a stash of cocaine in the woods, but the bear died.
Ah. See, I thought I was waiting for that to have a better ending. Like maybe the bear started a successful business with his buddies.
And I was looking at Facebook over the weekend, and I see somebody write on there, I was really disappointed in Cocaine Bear. And I'm like, what kind of expectations did you have about Cocaine Bear?
I really thought the cinematography would be better.
Yeah, it was just like, what the plot line? Was it too far-fetched for you that a bear would be high on cocaine and,
I wonder how the bear ends in the movie. I wonder how the bear dies in the movie.
It's probably like one of these horror films. It's kind of like the same people made the Sharknado movies.
Oh, there
so
you go.
you know
another classic piece of fine American cinema.
Well, they made 5 of them for God's sakes.
Someone out there has an appetite for weird animals.
Yeah. It's a horror thriller, although it appears to have comedic aspects. The hero actually wakes up trapped in the john on a construction site where the demolition is about to take place. This is that other movie we were talking about.
The German one.
Yeah. He was put there by a guy who wants his pregnant girlfriend. Wait a minute. Turns out he was put there by a guy who wants his pregnant... the guy wants his pregnant girlfriend. We were just talking about that off the air.
Yeah, this is weird.
And he has to
a poop story.
And he has to escape before he's blown to bits. The trailer dropped yesterday. Worth checking out, I'm telling you.
Is it really?
And then you hear Steven Spielberg say to Tom Cruise, "You saved Hollywood's ass." Really? With what? This? The Cocaine Bear? John Wick director Chad Stahelski said Hollywood still uses real guns because it would cost too much to switch to electric guns.
Electric guns?
Electric guns were used in the making of the John Wick movies, with gunfire added in post-production using CGI. Chad told The Hollywood Reporter, "There's no reason to have a live firearm on set for prop houses, armors, or supply houses to switch over. It would make their entire stock of real firearms useless. You don't need firearms. The alternative is just going to cost you more money."
Well, someone should have told that to Alec Baldwin, I think, probably, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he get charged in that?
There's a trial going on right now.
Oh, see how little I know?
Well, see, if you kept up to date on that, you might know. The idea of not using real guns hits closer to home for Chad. He used to be a stuntman and was actually a double for Brandon Lee in The Crow. And as you know, how that worked out.
Not good for Brandon Lee, I think, if I remember correctly, right?
No, that was wasn't that another misfire of a firearm on the set?
Shot and killed on the set. But they're going to switch to electric guns, and then someone's going to end up getting electrocuted. It's going to be the same thing.
Probably.
Yeah, make movies is a dangerous job. So
the scene... Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Just talking over you.
No, please.
The scene in Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox plays Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good? Well, Chris Martin from Coldplay told Michael it inspired his guitar playing. Well, that explains a lot. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Michael said, quote, "What a great compliment that is," about influencing Chris. He also said when he filmed the scene, he was finger syncing to the track because he had previously recorded it, and it wasn't that hard because he already knew the fundamentals of the guitar playing. Michael has a documentary coming out called Still, a Michael J. Fox movie.
Still is the name of the documentary.
Because he's not still.
Okay.
You see
I
how
see
that's
what they
working
did there.
out?
I see what they did there.
Did you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Very little. I've only seen like 2 episodes of it.
There's an episode where Larry David lives below Michael J. Fox, and he's convinced that he's wearing these work boots on purpose because he stomps around his apartment all day long, and Michael is seemingly doing it but pretending he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a very funny plot line for a show. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson starred together in HBO's True Detective, and now they're teaming up again on an unscripted show for Apple TV+. The premise is a little tired, but with these two, you never know. Woody is going to be to move to Matt's Texas ranch, where they and their families will attempt to cohabitate.
Wow.
It's a 10-episode series, but there's no word yet on the title or start date. According to a press release, it's a heartfelt, odd couple love story revolving around Woody and Matt's, quote, strange and beautiful bond.
Did you know, this is a stupid trivia fact, but did you know that Woody Harrelson's father was, like, I think the first person ever arrested and convicted for killing a federal judge?
No.
He was a hitman.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a little stupid trivia for you this early in the morning.
Thanks for neither bringing us up nor down with that. Kim Kardashian is accused of Photoshop because there's two identical pictures that show her with shadows on one and not shadows on another. She's got a shadow shown on her chest.
Oh, Kim did? What did she say about that?
She said, "Oh my God, the last time I had anything on my chest like this was when Ray J unleashed the protein punch over the beagle ears in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
And Caitlin?
Well, I never got that done and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but I once played with the leather kangaroo pouch. I had a fupa chalupa for lunch, if you know what I'm saying. What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I snuggled right up to the roast beef sheets. 1,000 thread count on those. Those are very soft. And that's your Hollywood Trash on Rock 102. Ah!
Massachusetts.
It's 6:30 at Rock 102. It is time for news, and it is brought to you by Taxland, Boston Road in Springfield, Conner Street in East Hampton, and TaxlandOnline.com. Marty?
And now local radio icon, Steve Nagle.
Why does it take you so long to get to that?
I just want to get it right every time I do it. I just try, and it's the one part.
All right. Well, you're getting better. By the time you get it down, you'll be no longer.
I could do it in different voices if you'd like.
No, it's fine.
You don't want the movie guy voice? Because I'll do it.
Not. Okay, Pablo.
In a world.
Yeah. Tuesday's storm knocked out power to tens of thousands of customers across Massachusetts. According to the MEMA outage map, over 29,000 customers across the state were without power as of about 5 a.m. this morning. A majority of those outages were seen right in western Massachusetts, but the good news is that the number is getting less every hour. Berkshire and Franklin counties were hit the hardest, with some areas seeing over 30 inches of snow. Crews were working around the clock as they respond to outages and damages in all directions caused by the storm. Eversource has been working to get people's power back on since the storm began. They're asking customers in advance to be patient and report any downed wires you may see, reminding customers to stay as far away as possible from those downed wires and trees. I came home yesterday and I said I told you I had the internet line is laying right across the front lawn.
Ugh, and there's no cell service where you are, I'm sure.
No, well, there's cell service. I don't really live like in the very remote part of town, but I have enough to get by as far as the cell service goes. But
You're not streaming off your cell phone to watch Netflix, though.
Stuck in a house with two preteens and no Wi-Fi.
Oh.
It's like Armageddon, dude.
Oh, Lord.
Armageddon. It's like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to these two kids with no Wi-Fi in the house. Of all the things that we've been through.
Losing their mom.
Yeah, losing their mom. Nothing of that. Wi-Fi and not in the house is probably the thing. And I called and it's not Xfinity's fault that the line fell down on the ground. Like the snow brought it down. But they were like, they called back and they're like, oh, the issue in your area has been fixed. And I'm like looking out on the front lawn and I'm like, I don't think you fixed that.
I beg your pardon.
I think, you know what it is? I think internet probably went down in town. They fixed that.
But not your individual house.
The individual house. So the guy's got to come put the line back on.
Well, listen, shout out to those guys because some of them are still out there in bucket trucks working and everything, just making sure people get their power back on. That is a tough job, those guys. I had a funny story. Back when I was a kid, I lived on the third floor of I had a third-floor apartment in Chicopee. And I had a pantry, and in the pantry was my microwave. And I don't wear clothes a lot when I'm in my own place, so I was walking over to the microwave with no pants on, no nothing, and I happened to look out the window, and lo and behold, there was a guy looking right at me, and I was looking right at him. Turned out to be my friend's father, who was a lineman for Chicopee Electric, Tommy Roback. And
oh, look at you name dropping.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's retired now. I think he probably retired after that happened. But there I was, standing there in all my glory, microwaving something, a Hot Pocket. Not expecting to see somebody looking through my third floor window.
What kind of... He was looking at your Hot Pocket.
He was my leather kangaroo.
Your leather kangaroo pouch. A transmission tower in Greenfield has been damaged from yesterday's storm that caused many power outages across Franklin County. Eversource says the transmission system is the superhighway of the grid. When it's damaged, thousands of customers can lose power. It's being repaired as the restoration process continues. Well, that's comforting.
Yeah, how do you keep your house warm? You live out there, so you have to be like a doomsday prepper. How do you keep your house warm if the electric goes off?
Well, there's a wood stove option.
Yeah, do you have a wood stove?
I do,
though?
yeah.
You do? Oh, I guess maybe everyone
But that's
else.
the last resort.
Yeah, because then you're out there like Paul Bunyan splitting wood and doing nonsense to stay warm.
I don't have it in me to do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like, oh, you should get the wood stove. Well, first of all, the wood stove in my house is too small. It's more like it would only keep that room warm. It wouldn't keep the whole house warm.
Right. So then all these people, what if they don't have a wood stove? They're in Greenfield. They're all huddled around a candle for warmth, or they're riding their Peloton like you.
Do what you got to do. You know, you take your spoon and your needle and your lighter, and you got to keep everybody warm around the fire.
What are you trying to say about Greenfield, Steve?
Nothing. I'm just saying, like some people do things differently depending on what town you're from. You said yesterday some people storm prep differently than others.
This is true.
Some people keep warm in the winter other ways.
Well, out in Huntington, I know that if you run out of power and you don't feel like chopping wood, you can just get on your Peloton there and do a couple extra hours and heat the whole house.
You know, I was thinking about, like, why can't I hook this thing up to, like, you know how they do those power your own house in the
sure.
like you were saying, like,
yeah,
kind of like
connected to the grid.
Yeah, connected to the grid.
You start getting credits back for all this work that you're doing.
Well, why not?
Sure,
might as well profit on it somehow.
I'm surprised no one's come up with the idea of an X-rated Peloton. You know, all the girls.
You know what? It's pretty close to being X-rated.
Is it really?
It really doesn't need to be.
That's how they get you guys on the bike?
It's like, well, how are you supposed to work out if you're looking at this all day? What's going on here? You give me one more big juicy push, love.
On, Steve,
Come here. Come on, Steve. You can do it.
Yes, I can.
The town of Blandford has declared a state of emergency due to weather conditions. According to Blandford's website, residents are urged to refrain from driving and remain indoors, given the potential falling trees and power lines. The response time for fire in the highway department will be impacted. The National Weather Service reported about 20 inches of snow in Blandford with they probably got more last night. As it felt.
I'm sure.
But my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law live up in Blandford, and she was saying that last night. There's a whole town state of emergency. The problem is it's the trees down. It's not about the roads being unable to.
Right, just not being passable.
Yeah, it's the trees that are coming down right in the middle of the road, and I would not want to be under one of those things. I was driving up Main Road in Montgomery yesterday. Holy crap, those branches
hanging low over the road.
But it's like you never see them hanging that low, and you didn't think they could come that low. Usually they're up high. But it was crazy.
You know, those people up there, though, you guys definitely have a different culture out in the hill towns than here. Like, I don't even know most of my neighbors. You know what I mean? But I sold a house back when I did real estate to my friends John and Wendy up there. And their whole neighborhood, they all take care of each other. They look out for each other. They all have a chainsaw, you know, so they can clear the roads if they need to and everything. That wouldn't happen in Chicopee, I can tell you that much. No. You maybe know like one or two of your neighbors, and that's about it. You know, and you don't really ask questions.
Yeah, you don't want to know what's going on over there.
Not at all.
That's like on those Dateline shows, right?
Yeah.
The neighbor next door. Well, everybody thought he was a nice guy, and he's got 10 bodies buried.
They just start pulling blue barrels out. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. See, it could happen.
It could. Right.
Well, it happened in Springfield with that guy on Page Boulevard. I mean, it's not like it's. Everybody, when people watch like national news and things like that, they're like, "Oh, that's like in the Midwest. That couldn't happen here. It could happen here.
It does.
It did happen here.
Yeah, I read something like I don't know what the actual stat was, but it was like 50 active serial killers or something like that at all times in the country, and we just don't talk about. You know, the news is just Caitlyn Jenner.
It's kind of it's a distraction. We don't want anybody to know, but it's kind of like TikTok videos. You know, TikTok users. I think the average person, when they watch a TikTok video going, oh, this person is like from California. They could be like your neighbor, your next door neighbor,
yeah,
making videos.
Yep, just doing strange stuff.
Yep. A woman was arrested in connection with a deadly stabbing in East Hampton on Tuesday. According to the Northwestern DA's spokesperson, Lori Loisel, East Hampton police were called to a home on Coldoff Street at around 3:10 a.m. where a man was found suffering from multiple stab wounds. The 23-year-old man was taken to Bay State Medical Center in Springfield, where he died due to his injuries. The suspect is a 23-year-old woman and was arrested on a single count of murder in connection with his death. She's scheduled to be arraigned in Northampton District Court today. This is the first homicide in East Hampton since 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. 23 years old, huh? Whole life in front of you?
The whole life. Yeah.
You know?
And you know.
If you're 23 and you're listening to this right now,
it's not worth it. It's not worth the dispute.
Just move
the
out.
argument. Yeah,
How
just
about
get
that
out.
for an option?
Just walk away.
Right.
It's not worth the argument. A Ware man was arraigned in court on Monday on charges of assault and battery on a child under 14 and intimidation of a witness. According to the Ware Police Department, 53-year-old Michael A. Hunt was arrested on Sunday. He was arraigned in Eastern Hampshire District Court in Belchertown on Monday. He's being held on $20,000 bail. In addition to the charges, Hunt is also being held on violation of probation from previous cases in Franklin and Worcester counties.
Michael Hunt. Sounds very Bart Simpson.
If he went for short, I think his name would be like a Butch or a Chief.
Mikey
or
like...
Yeah. Something like that. An Amherst man was arrested Tuesday morning for allegedly possessing child sex abuse material. 32-year-old Bradford Ferrick of Winchester and Amherst appeared in Boston federal court remotely Tuesday morning and has been charged with one count of possession of child pornography. Ferrick was on home confinement restrictions for related charges at the time of his arrest. According to the charging documents, Ferrick began a medical residency in July of 2022 with a focus on family medicine with Bay State Franklin Family Medicine. This included working through facilities in Greenfield, Deerfield, and in Springfield. During a search of his Winchester home on February 13th, police allegedly seized 61 devices, including external hard drives, computers, cell phones, hidden camera systems, and SD cards. On those devices, officers found thousands of images and videos of suspected child pornography. Ferrick was arrested and released on home confinement after posting bail in Woburn District Court. Police conducted a follow-up search at the same home on February 17th and allegedly found 11 more devices that also contained suspected child pornography victims between the ages of 6 and 11 years old. Another home Ferrick was renting in Amherst was searched on February 21st, where police seized 8 more devices, including a hidden camera device that was designed to be worn as a bracelet. The device allegedly contained recorded video of Ferrick administering medical exams.
Oh, my God. Well, there's a lot of feel-good stories this morning from Western Mass.
Yeah, 2 minors believed to be patients were allegedly heard and seen in the video at times. I can think of no greater fear as a parent or guardian than potential harm coming to your child. Today, we allege that this doctor, who held a position of trust with access to children, maintained child sexual abuse material. The investigation is active and ongoing. That's according to U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins. Members of the public with questions, concerns, or any information pertaining to this doctor are strongly encouraged to contact the FBI via the provided form. They sent out this email yesterday. But wow. Crazy stuff going on up here in Western Massachusetts today.
Yeah, not a great news day.
Not really anything we can make fun of. We need to make. Where's the dumb criminals?
Well, I got one that I just.
All right,
saw.
what do you got? Go ahead.
The Colombian Navy seized a mystery submarine with more than a ton of cocaine and 2 lifeless bodies on board. $87 million worth of cocaine in this submarine.
Yeah.
2 of the guys died from the gases inside the submarine. Then 2 of the other guys they found close to death on the outside of the submarine, waiting for them to pick them up. And my immediate thought on that, Steve, was who has the kind of resources to build a submarine that's not a government, you know?
A coke dealer.
Yeah.
That's who.
Yeah, because you have the cash, and then you also have the cocaine. So, if you give 6 or 7 of your buddies enough cocaine, I guess, you put them in a garage for a week, they'll come out like, I built your submarine, baby.
Yeah, I got your submarine. Submarine's all good.
Way to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I found that crazy.
So they were dead inside?
Yeah, like the gas. It looks like the gas from the engine. You got to vent that gas out, And they apparently vented the wrong gas out.
Yeah.
and they died inside. It probably carbon monoxide poisoning.
I like how you commented that we were talking about all these doom and gloom stories, and then like you're like, oh yeah, and these two guys died in a submarine from all the noxious gases from the cocaine that they were making.
But it's more lighthearted, you know what I mean? It's more lighthearted. They're drug smuggling Colombians.
Well, it's from 3,000 miles away.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
See how that works?
Yeah, your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be cloudy this morning with some chance of some flurries, and then cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. Looking at 36 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Ah, yeah.
This spring,
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It is 6:51, and the Stones on Rock 102. Bax and Nagle show. Bax out this week. Comedian Marty Caproni sitting in his place.
Happy to be here, as always.
Are you happy?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to this waking up and having a purpose thing. It's nice.
Yeah, it can be meaningful, can't it?
Yeah.
Mostly cloudy today. We're your Pioneer Valley forecast. That winter storm warning will be ending by 8 o'clock, but the storm's pretty much over. Just cleaning up all the damage from that today. Mostly cloudy with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. It is 36 right now in downtown Springfield. We got coming up, I don't know what we'll do today.
Well, let's have some fun. Let's get some meaningful dialogue going here, Steve.
They want me to fill out the bracket for the Rock 102 bracket brawl.
Can
thing.
you win the $1 million if you get all the teams right? Or?
You could, and not that I'm trying to poo-poo on our. Listen, we got plenty of other great prizes to go along with this thing, and the reality is about picking out these teams. It's very rare that you would be able to pick out a perfect bracket. This story says if your brother-in-law or someone at work asks you to fill out a bracket, don't worry about not being an expert. It won't help much anyway because it's basically impossible. The odds of finishing with a perfect bracket, guessing all the games correctly, is 1 in 120 billion. That's assuming you know something about college basketball going in and consider how the teams are seeded. If you're a non-fan who just guesses based on something arbitrary like flipping a coin, the odds soar to 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
Well, I would be in the 9.2 quintillion thing.
One mathematician put it this way: you have better odds of winning the Powerball with 2 consecutive tickets than getting a perfect bracket. And you have better odds that a family of 4 will get hit by lightning separately in their lifetime. Which is kind of bleak. That's a little bleak, but
it's a real bleak.
But it's true.
That's a real bleak number.
And there's a 1 in 10,000 chance that you get injured by a toilet in your lifetime. So there are better odds that the same family of 4 all get injured by a toilet than picking a perfect bracket. And no one has officially submitted a perfect bracket ever. The longest streak of perfection was by a neuropsychologist from Ohio who managed to pick the winner of the first 49 games in 2019 correctly. There are 63 games total.
That's pretty good.
49 games. That's pretty good. And hopefully he won some money off that.
I mean, he's a neuropsychologist or something like that.
Yeah,
so he's
neuropsychologist. So just fill it out for fun, and who knows, maybe you'll get lucky and everyone in your family will trip over a toilet and get struck by lightning.
What are the odds of being attacked by a cocaine bear on your toilet?
1 in 9.1 quintillion. So it's like 1.1 quintillion less than what you would have been if you just did it yourself.
So what I'm going to do when I get home today is sit on the toilet and fill out my bracket.
Yeah, like I said, I'm doing some of these with the stuff with the BetMGM app and all that stuff. Yeah. But I'm still like learning how to do these parlays and these. Like I don't really quite understand that concept of the parlay.
It's taken the this I know of.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. I know about this parlay and the tees and all that stuff, but I tried to just simply bet on the Super Bowl at the kiosk at MGM, and I'm so dumb that I couldn't figure it out. All my bets ended up being not what I wanted for my bets. I lost everything.
Oh, believe me, dude. I picked out, I had all these, bets going in there to go try it out and check it out. And my girlfriend who was with me, standing there with me at the time, she was like, you pick that one. That's going to be the one, and that was the one it was the first touchdown of the game.
That's who you got to call.
Jalen Hurts or whatever.
Yeah, that's who you got to call. You got to call her and have her fill out your bracket for you.
Yeah, and then get it done that way. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know anything about.
You know what I could help you on is MMA. That's the one thing that I know a little bit about in the sports world. I ring announced for years for mixed martial arts for 10 years. So when there are fights, I'm pretty good at picking the fights.
Yeah,
that's about it. Maybe football, but other than that, I don't really know. But we're talking about parlay and teasing.
Yeah,
you can parlay like a football bet or tease it with a MMA fight. Combine the two and get crazy odds. A couple weeks ago, I read a news article. Some guy bet $1 on like 5 different tickets. He hit on 2 teases. He walked to like $400 and something thousand on like $5
because they take the winnings and put it on to the next bet. Is that
well?
How
it's
that
all
works?
part of the same bet. So in other words, like you're betting the Patriots win, you're betting the Celtics win, and then you're betting that Conor McGregor, loses by rear naked choke in the third round.
All right.
And those 3 things, all those odds combined, give you like a crazy thing. So you have a high upside with a low risk investment. That's the best I can tell you.
How come we didn't go to the sports book yesterday down at the casino?
We were having enough trouble with video poker.
Right? I know. Trying to figure out why I put $20 on that machine yesterday.
The Buffalo?
The blackjack machine. Yeah. And I didn't there was no I bet $20. And that was it. It was gone. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Why am I sitting next to Marty playing this thing? You're screwing up my whole. I usually go to the penny slots.
Well, that's all I do. I can't gamble like big time. You know what I mean? I'll spend $20 here or there. I'm at Mohegan this weekend, like I said, so I'll probably plan on spending $50 while I'm there. But I chalk that $50 up to like it's not coming back, and then if anything happens with it, I win.
$200 appearance, but you get $400 in the hole by the time you come home.
I did have it one time. I was playing the Wheel of Fortune slot. I like watching the little wheel spin at the top, and it was about 9 minutes to me being on stage, and I was like, one more spin, and I hit for $2,000. Yeah, and then the lady has to come and do the hand pay and everything else. And I was like, lady, I need to be on stage in 9 minutes. She's like, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
She came running back. She's like, how do you want it? I was like, cash. I was on stage with a knot of cash like this big because it was all like 20s in my pocket.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it felt good. It was good. It was
That's a good time.
Yeah, it was the one time I actually had a weekend where I left there being like, all right, I feel like a real comedian.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, by the way,
money.
You have a tab here you haven't paid.
Yeah, those chicken fingers.
Yeah, those chicken fingers add up after a while. I know you came in here and you had a giant pretzel once, and you didn't pay for it.
They're actually really good to me, man. The guys from comics, if you do go to Mohegan Sun, it's a great comedy club. The guys from comics, they're like family to me, and they treat me real well when I'm down there. They load me up on drinks and chicken fingers all weekend long. It's pretty nice.
Well, they need to load everybody else up on drinks and chicken fingers all weekend long.
Just to find me funny, they got to load them up on drinks.
It's 6:58 with Bax and Nagle and Marty Caproni on Rock 102. Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It is 7:09 and Stevie Nicks on Rock 102. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be cloudy with some flurries tapering off this morning as the winter storm comes to an end around 8 a.m. And it's going to be mostly cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. It is 36 right now in downtown Springfield. Marty Caproni is here in for Bax this week as Bax is still sick. Maybe be back tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know what the deal is. But glad to have you here, man.
I'm happy to be here. I'm pulling for Bax like everyone else. But I'm enjoying my time here with you guys. So,
well, we're glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
And then tell us about, you were reading something about Ozempic here.
Oh, yeah. So I just found this article. For those who don't know, Ozempic is a diabetes drug. Mm-hmm. And everyone now, it's trendy, especially like Hollywood people and everything. They're taking it for weight loss. And this tells a story of a nurse who's 25 years old. She gained 50 pounds during the pandemic because she was stressed out, eating, working crazy hours in the intensive care unit during COVID. She gained 50 pounds, so she decided that she was going to use the Ozempic to lose the 50 pounds.
Right.
And they give you a shot in your thigh or something like that. And it said after about a year of being on it, she lost 50 pounds. But as soon as she came off of it, she had ravenous hunger and started to gain back weight. I think she put on like 10 pounds like right away.
Yeah, it's a type 2 diabetes drug is what it's for. It's for people who have they're type 2 diabetics. It's like an alternative to insulin shots. And unfortunately, the people who actually need it aren't getting it because the availability is scarce due to the fact that all these people are using it for weight loss.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's and you know, you can blame the people, but you got to blame the doctors too who are prescribing it off label like that, you know?
Well, there's doctors who do that for many different drugs.
Yeah.
Because they're forced to or not forced to, but they're incentivized by.
Yeah, I was going to say, they want free
company.
lunch and they want trips and all the other stuff that the drug
Which
companies
is apparently illegal, but apparently it still happens. It still goes
they just
on.
find a way around the laws, you know?
Yeah, the whole idea of people trying to find lose weight quickly scheme.
Magic pill.
It's like I've been doing most of the time that I've lost weight in my life has been due to maybe a major anxiety filled event where you don't want to eat, and then you don't eat, and then you drop a ton of weight, and you look great for a little while, and then you start to feel better, and you start eating again, and you start looking a little better. But honestly, not to have the commercial for the Peloton again, but being on that program, I started that on January 1st, and now I'm like 11 or 12 weeks into to doing that. Your body gets used to.
You feel better, right?
You feel better. I haven't really changed my diet that much, other than the fact that I'm not eating as much because I'm not as hungry. When you work out a lot, you don't really get as hungry.
Yeah, well, and plus you're spending 2 hours a day or whatever pedaling a bike, chasing
45 minutes.
Oh, that's it.
Anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes.
But you're spending that extra time chasing some British lady in a sports bra. It takes away the time that you probably would just be sitting there snacking in the kitchen.
One more juicy push, love. One more. We got one big juicy road ahead.
Up on a bike, would you?
Let's go.
But you're doing that instead of eating. You know me, I go up and down like an accordion, you know. But the two major times I've lost weight in my life, it seems like external circumstances have happened where I've lost weight and then something happens. One time I broke my hand, so I couldn't work out. And I was sad. I just sat on the couch and ate, and I had gone from losing 86 pounds. I put on like 45 back on almost immediately. And then the last time was right before the pandemic. If you remember, I used to do those walking videos in the state park that you used to tune into.
Yeah.
I was doing that because I couldn't go to the gym anymore because all the gyms were closed.
Oh, you're losing weight walking around all day long.
I was walking like 6-7 miles a day. I was doing Facebook Live, telling jokes,
right
walking
behind the air base, watching the guys drive up to you on the fence,
yelling at me on the fence. Everyone always warned me there's bears back there, and I at that point in the middle of the pandemic, I was like, you know what? This is a great way to go. I want a bear attack. I want to fight. You want
a cocaine bear.
Yeah,
what you want.
I wouldn't have a chance. I wouldn't. I wonder if the cocaine bear could build a sub. You know, go back.
Good.
Back to our earlier story.
But yeah. Anyway.
But yeah. So now these people they're not getting the medication they need. There's a shortage of it, and it's not being prescribed to the people who need it, the diabetics and stuff. Which is crazy.
And that's the problem. You know, you get any kind of drug. There was what was the thing during the pandemic that they were? There was
one. I can't. It
was a drug that people used for lupus.
Yes, fibromyalgia. And lupus.
Whatever the one that they were pushing for that, and it was like, no, this doesn't really help COVID.
Right.
It's for people who have lupus, and that's a serious disease.
I had a friend who suffers from the fibromyalgia and everything, and she couldn't get the medication.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, how much is your weight loss worth to you? And this is the kind of effects that you're going to get. We had a guy on years ago, and I've told this story before, about it was that drug Ally. You remember that drug Ally?
Ally. Which
they
one
still
was
sell it now. It's like a fat blocker.
Okay.
You basically take it, and it's supposed to, like, you know, get so your body doesn't process the fats.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
But the guy from the drug company, we interviewed him. He's like, we recommend that you wear dark pants because the effect was that you would soil yourself from taking the medication. That was the scientific remedy.
It's black pants.
Hey, wear black pants so nobody can see that you soiled yourself during the day.
You know, some doctor probably was like, I can prescribe you black pants and Medicare will pay for it. But then you ask yourself the question, is it that important to look good that, let's say you're trying to look good for the ladies, Steve, and you're like, I got to lose these 50 pounds. And you're like, yeah, here's the only catch, lady. I look great, but I have just pooped my pants for the 5th time today.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't go out tonight. I've soiled myself off of Ally.
I don't want to speak for the ladies, but I think most ladies would be like, I would rather a guy who's a little portly and has control of their bowels,
You never know. There's somebody who might be into that. It's 7:16 with Bax and Nagle, and
it's
7:30 at Rock 102. It is time for news.
This week it's a Thunderbird.
Brought to you by Taxland, Boston Road in Springfield, Connor Street in East Hampton, and TaxlandOnline.com. Marty?
And now local radio icon, Steve Nagle.
Well, thanks, man. You make me feel pretty important around here. The snow cleanup continues this morning as the town of Blandford has declared a state of emergency. There's trees, tree limbs down, roads are impassable in some points. They canceled school yesterday. That's my region there. They canceled school yesterday afternoon going, listen, with all these down trees everywhere, we're not going to be able to get the buses through tomorrow. So
the school canceled today out that way?
School was canceled today as well.
Oh.
Well, because the thing is, like, where I live in, like, the lower lying valley of Huntington. Where if you live on the top of the mountain, that's where you're most likely to lose your power and lose your, all that stuff. And they got a significant, like, literally 3 miles from my house. You're talking
inches.
about 26 inches or something like that they got up at the top of the mountain, which is nuts. But it's still being cleaned up this morning.
Those God bless all those linemen and people out there, the highway crews that are doing their best to get stuff open for everybody up there.
Yeah. And here's something that you wouldn't normally see somebody going out in a major snowstorm with. This morning around 3:30, Mass State Police in Lee confirmed 2 missing hikers were found. This comes after emergency crews were searching Mount Washington Tuesday night after the hikers were reported lost. According to the Mass State Police, they received the call just before 8 p.m. State Police said that the lost hikers' last known address was a Lander Trail on Mount Washington. Troopers responded along with K-9s, a special emergency team trooper, and Egremont Fire and Police. The environmental police were also contacted.
Look, I don't want to.
I know
these guys are okay, so I don't want to crap on them too bad. But come on, you decide that's the time to go out hiking.
You know what? I'm going to kind of crap on you because I'm glad you're okay, but why? Why are you going out during a major snowstorm, going to hike? It's Mount Washington. There's probably 30 inches of snow out there, and then you're going to make a rescue crew come and go find you because you were too weak to go through your hike with the hike that you thought was going to work out for you.
Such a D-bag thing to do. Just add something else to their plate. You know what I mean?
And speaking of D-bag things, and I'm sure you probably saw this yesterday because you were not too far behind me as we went to the casino yesterday.
Yeah.
The person running down Converse Street, I get your health and your exercise.
Good for you.
But do you understand what kind of weather is outside right now? Like, it's slush snow. Yeah. It's not like fluffy white stuff. Why are you out running? Not only out running, but in the middle of the road because you can't run on the sidewalk because none of the sidewalks are done yet. So you're running in the middle of the road and getting angry at the traffic that is passing you.
Yeah, how dare they interrupt your jog in the middle of a nor'easter?
I'm all about fitness, but fitness requires you to not impede on traffic during a snowstorm.
Well, it's the same thing with the cyclists, too. They drive me nuts with the cyclists that ride in the road,
In the snow?
And no, not in the snow, but just in general. I had one the other day in Chicopee. I was turning left on a side street to go to View Street Tavern, and the guy was riding his bike in all black at nighttime. And he was coming out of the street like he was a car, not on the sidewalk. I almost hit the guy, and he goes, whoa, hey, whoa.
Yeah, like it's your fault.
Yeah, I was like, it's my fault. You put a reflector on your bike or something.
I'm sorry. I dressed in all black. I was going to a funeral. Mine.
Yeah, you're
for after you hit me
cycling
with a
to the
car.
ninja convention. You know what I mean?
But the people running in the middle of the road, I don't understand that, and I'll never get. You're not.
They just
cool.
want you to. They want you to see how healthy they are.
I don't care
and
how
blah,
healthy
blah,
you
blah.
are. You can do this on a treadmill, or
Yes.
you can do this running in place in your basement.
Go to your local park and run around that.
You
know
live
what
in
I mean?
Longmeadow. You can't afford a treadmill in your house. You shouldn't be living there if you can't. On Tuesday during the snowstorm, 2 men were arrested after Northampton police found several different types of illegal drugs as well as an unlicensed gun with ammunition in their car. Northampton Police Department was contacted by the DPW to check the car. Upon arrival, officers observed 2 males in a running vehicle who appeared to be sleeping. After several attempts to wake them, they finally woke up. Both males appeared to be confused and disoriented. While talking with the operator, officers observed narcotics in plain view. You passed out on your drug thing.
And left your gun on the dashboard or something.
Yeah. After a search of the car yielded, the male operator from Staten Island is charged with trafficking cocaine and possession of heroin, possession of crack cocaine and meth and oxycodones and methamphetamines, gabapentin.
Oh.
What's that one?
Gabapentin is it's supposed to be like a pain thing, but it acts on your nerves and your brain and stuff. It's a real.
Oh, great.
It's one of those drugs that you really got to be careful about. If a doctor's trying to prescribe it to you, you really got to do your research on it. And that's if a doctor's prescribing it to you, not just 2 guys sleeping in a car from Staten Island.
Possession of firearm and felony, an OUI second offense of drugs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Jeez. There's a lesson for you. If you're running drugs during a storm, get yourself a hotel room, I guess. I don't know.
And the male passenger is from Leverett and charged with trafficking cocaine and all that other good stuff.
Oh, wow. Well, like I said yesterday, everyone stocks up for a storm differently.
Yeah, these guys with the gabapentin and the heroin.
Gabapentin's a real one. It doesn't really fit in with all the other things that are on that list, but sure.
It's like one of these things are not like the other.
Yeah, exactly.
On Wednesday, 5 people were displaced after an overnight fire on Sumner Avenue in Springfield. Fire crews responded to the scene and confirmed no reported injuries, but the 5 people are being assisted by the Red Cross, and the case is under investigation by the Springfield Arson and Bomb Squad. One man is being held on $20,000 bail after being arrested this past Sunday in Ware. 64-year-old Michael Hunt was charged with indecent assault and battery on a child under 14, along with intimidation of a witness. He was also held for violation of probation from previous cases out of Franklin and Worcester counties. Hunt was arrested at the Eastern Hampshire District Court in Belchertown on Monday.
What was that suspect's name again?
I believe his name was Mikal. Mikal Hunt. Yes, okay. I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
That's how we pronounce his name now. So we know.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can't you can't say everything. You can't. The transmission tower in Greenfield is down. A transmission tower in Greenfield has been damaged from yesterday's storm. This caused many power outages across Franklin County. Eversource says the transmission system is the superhighway of the grid. When it's damaged, thousands of customers can lose their power. It is being repaired as the restoration process continues.
All those folks up in Franklin County, I hope they're prepped like you are out there in Huntington with wood stoves and everything else.
I don't know if they got that or not.
No, you don't think so?
No.
How do you think they prep for this?
Maybe a spoon and a needle and a lighter.
We're going to get a letter for that one.
Oh, no, that's it. That's how they work. Hey, people in Palmer have been doing that for years. The people in Palmer have been getting second-degree burns from their illegal stills that they've been running inside of their garages. Those things explode, man. You can get burned.
You can get burned real bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. You ever hit up a store on the walk back from happy hour? And later blamed booze for your purchases?
I have a friend in New York City who got drunk at a happy hour and adopted a cat on his way home. That's the closest I've heard of that.
Really?
No, yeah. I have done this. Have you ever gotten drunk and then drunk you goes home and gets on Amazon and buys a bunch of cool stuff, and then sober you gets it like it's a gift for yourself? Have you ever done that?
That's high me.
Hi-U.
Like
Edible Steve?
anytime I'm doing that, I know 2 days later something from Amazon will show up, and it's usually food related, like because I was hungry at the time, like that. That little air crisper that you cook chicken wings in your oven. Ooh, it fries it just like it's in a thing. And I'm like, oh, I really wanted wings that night. So now I have all these items, but I never think to cook the same things again because it's always something else.
You're getting yourself a gift for your belly.
I got an M&M dispenser, too.
No, you did not, did you?
I did,
really?
yeah. I got one of them. I got that. I got a food chopper. I got,
you got the chopper where you slam down and it chops everything up perfectly?
Yeah. It's like being in a magic it's like I'm a Magic Chef dealer, but I'm not. I just got all the stuff there. That's what happens.
That's pretty great.
But anyway, in a new poll, about 17 Americans admit to having shopped while under the influence the past year, and on average, they spent $309. Not at once, but collectively.
I mean, I could do that in a convenience store if I was if I was doing what you're doing. If I'm taking the edibles, I don't go out drinking anymore. So I remember it being very expensive just for a night out, 20 years ago. What's it like now? It must be, you must have to bring your own. There are people who do that. There are people, a few of the places that I've been that I have friends who own bars who find nips in the trash after. And I said, do you ever catch them? He goes, it's really easy to find someone ordering just orange juice at 5 p.m.
Yeah. I have some friends whose parents
That's what they
do that.
Yes.
We were doing this party one time, and I won't say where it was because I don't want to give too many
details?
Identifying details away. But I was like, hey, how come your mom and dad keep going out to the car every 10 minutes? They're mixing their own drinks in the parking lot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, I guess you want to save some money in the long run.
I mean, I suppose. I mean, drinks are expensive nowadays. You know what I mean? You go to a place, you can be $12 a drink.
But is it like, okay,
stay home.
Is it your drinking problem that really is causing you to have drinks out of the back of your car? Because it's serious. Honestly, somebody who doesn't have an issue would probably buy the 2-drink minimum at the comedy club without having to bring it in.
Well, not to plug Loft Comedy Club, Steve, but you brought it up. If they come to the show Thursday, $20 get you dinner and a show. Chef Larry is going to throw out a great meal. It's funny you mentioned that. We do not have drink minimums. There's no item minimum or drink minimum.
There you go. See,
so there's no catch because everyone always asks that. They go, it's so cheap. What's the catch?
Does your open mic night require you to bring 5 people?
Nope, none of those.
You should do that.
None of those things. The Bringer Show?
Yeah, you should do that. Yeah.
Well, none of those things. We do. We just want people to laugh and have a good time. But that's there's no minimum. So I these people that if you don't have the money, maybe stay home.
Listen, you can save the extra money, because you're saving money by getting the food and the show. Yeah. You buy yourself a couple of drinks and you can do some online shopping because you're going to need to.
That's what and the drinks there are cheap. Ed, who's the owner, he is very adamant on he prices things out much. I don't want to trash anyone else, but let's put it this way. They're highly competitive to all the other places in the area.
There you go.
The drink prices.
Most commonly drunkenly bought items: shoes, clothes, accessories, and food. 47% of people do that. 34% of drunk spenders open up their wallets for naughty things like cigarettes, gambling, and more alcohol.
Ooh, those are considered naughty?
Yeah.
Oh, more alcohol. I think I've done that. I've done that when I shouldn't.
You've ordered alcohol drunk because you were anticipating that you would want more alcohol?
Look, I don't want you to judge me, Steve, but sometimes when I'm on the road and I'm in my hotel, I go to Uber Eats.
You know what, Marty? I don't need to judge you. God will judge you one day.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's happening. But some of the places I go, you can Uber extra alcohol right to your hotel room. So I'm just saying hypothetically, a friend of mine.
It's a good idea.
A friend of mine who might be in his hotel and wish he had one more bottle of wine or one more 12-pack of White Claws could just go on Uber and have it delivered right to their door.
Ain't no laws with White Claws. You can do anything you want on White Claws.
That's what they say.
You're not going to get in trouble for it. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, the winter storm warning will be ending very, very soon here, and mostly cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. It is 36 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Yeah. Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock at 7:51, and Aerosmith on Rock 102. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, it is going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. It's 36 right now in downtown Springfield. Bax and Nagle show, but Bax is not here, obviously. He's out sick. But he will be back tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know if he's going to be back tomorrow. I shouldn't say that.
Well,
he said something about that, but then I don't know.
Well,
But anyway, he's okay. He's not, nothing's terribly wrong. He's just.
I've gotten so many messages. People love. It's like like I said, he's like Ferris Bueller. People are, is he okay? Is he gonna be all right? Is he? Like,
he's going to be fine.
He's
going to be fine, and Marty's not taking over his job.
No,
we don't have that kind of money around here anyway. How about a benchmark, Marty?
A benchmark?
You want a benchmark?
Sure.
All right.
Now hear this with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
All right. Let's see. We got a few clips here. Here's an elderly woman totally losing it. She's leaving somebody's house, right?
Okay.
Then she turns around and surprised to see a delivery. You know how you get surprised when somebody's just standing there?
Yeah.
So she's like not even paying attention. This lady freaks out. Watch this.
That sounds good to me. Don't you ever do that to me! Oh my God! I'm so sorry. That's the greatest thing ever! Oh my God! I looked up and she was oh my God!
All right.
I'm so hoping Brittany got that on video. And I'm sorry. No, you're fine.
All right. Well, we know Grandma's a screamer, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
All right. Yeah, you can imagine being the delivery guy. I'd be more freaked out being the delivery guy, going, "Whoa, lady, calm down."
Just some UPS guy standing there in brown shorts.
Yeah. A woman in Oklahoma had her ear nearly ripped off by a pet monkey that escaped a nearby neighbor's house. Here's Brittany Parker talking about the traumatizing attack.
I looked out the window and there was a monkey looking at me, and I took a second take and I was like, there's a monkey on the front porch. He was trying to get into my house, the little button that you push in on your screen door. He had broke it off. I was literally hanging on to the door trying to hold my door closed. He crawled, jumped up my back, and landed on my head, grabbed handfuls of hair and just ripped it out.
Ooh.
And then ripped my ear almost completely off of my head.
Let me tell you something, man. Monkeys freak me out. That lady with the chimpanzee attack years ago down in Connecticut, and it's like, I understand that you like to work with animals and all this other stuff, but there's something creepy about an animal that is able to rip your face off. But is being allowed to just walk around a room.
Well, I felt, at first I was going to say that, but then when you find out it wasn't even her monkey, it was her neighbor's monkey.
Yeah.
And the thing's breaking into her house, you know.
And
I got a weird question, though. Can you imagine that call to Jake from State Farm for the homeowner's insurance?
Yeah.
I need you guys to pay for my ear replacement.
Yeah, my ear got ripped off by a monkey.
I was attacked by a monkey in Oklahoma.
What is it State Farm or is it that farm? I think it's Farmers.
No.
What was the one that the guy? Oh God, what was his name?
The chaos guy.
Yeah, the chaos guy. That would be the chaos guy.
Yeah. Mayhem. That's
Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Yeah, I don't know what company that was for, but it was
Progressive. I think it could be. Oh, no, it's not Progressive. That's the lady with the glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's from. But the point is, I bet you all the actuaries in the world for insurance companies can't nail that one. We're gonna have 3 monkey attacks this year in Oklahoma.
That doesn't usually happen.
Here's a good question for you, Steve.
Yeah.
Trivia question, dumb trivia.
Sure.
Is there monkeys in the United States anywhere that are like a native species, like a population of monkeys?
Yes. Yes, I know the answer to this.
All
it's
right.
in Florida.
You nailed it.
Am I right?
You are right.
Wasn't it because of a movie being made back in the 50s?
Yeah, I think it was a movie or circus animals or no, I think it was a lab. There was during one of the hurricanes, maybe Hurricane Andy. I could be wrong on this. But a bunch of monkeys got out there in the hurricane, and they established a breeding population on an island.
This is where we don't know what the real story is,
Yeah.
because it's one of these urban legend things. But there is this population of monkeys. Supposedly, it is because of they were making a Tarzan movie back in the 1950s there, and they brought these macaque monkeys or whatever they're called. Macaque monkeys, and they left them there. That was one of the versions of the story that I heard. I don't know what the real story is.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up.
Well, maybe we can look into that after 8 o'clock. In the meantime, here's another clip. A British man didn't realize he was biting into a prize-winning candy egg. Here's YouTuber, and this is the problem with these YouTubers. They're so dumb. They don't know what they're doing. Adam Davis, his name is, snacking in the back of his camping van, accidentally eating a 2-colored Cadbury cream egg that's worth $10,000.
Oh, no.
He didn't realize he was eating half white, half chocolate egg, which Cadbury put in stores for people to find, like the Willy Wonka golden ticket thing.
Oh,
I've got a Cadbury's cream egg. In fact, I'm going to tuck into this right now. Do you know how long it's been since I've been in this van? That was the one. But why do I always eat the good stuff first? Now I'm left with apple. Ugh.
Oh,
I didn't know.
Left with apple.
I didn't know Jason Statham was eating Cadbury eggs in the back of his
he
RV.
just lost out on $10,000 worth of Cadbury cream eggs.
They can't give him 5 if half the eggs left.
I think you have to give it to him as a whole. I don't think he's gonna win it that way.
Can't bring it back for a percentage.
No, you're listening to the Bax and Nagle show with Bax out. Marty Caproni is filling in for him this week. And we'll do other stuff coming up after 8 o'clock at 7:57 with Bax and Nagle and Marty Caproni on Rock 102.
Looking for a new...
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:07 and Stone Temple Pilots on Rock 102. Pioneer Valley forecast today, mostly cloudy with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48, and it is 36 right now in downtown Springfield. Again, if you're just tuning in, Bax and Nagle show without Bax. Bax is out sick. He'll be fine. He'll be back in action within the next couple of days, supposedly, and don't know when yet, but comedian Marty Caproni filling in the hot seat.
Stuck with me until then, Steve.
Until then, or unless you get removed. I don't know how that's going to happen. But we were talking about these monkeys down in Florida.
Yeah, the wild monkeys.
And how they got there. And you did a little research in there, a little Googling.
I did a little Google. Those monkeys, if anyone cares, a lot of them, it seems, some were zoo monkeys, so going to your theory about when they were doing filming and stuff down in Florida, but a majority of them sound like they escaped laboratories during the hurricanes down there, and then they started breeding populations. But they're all over the state, too. They're not just in one spot. And there's 6 different types of monkeys. And I'm going to be honest with you, we were the whole thing that brought this up was about the lady who got her ear ripped off. I get it. I'm falling for it. I'm looking at these pictures of these monkeys, and I'm like, oh, that one's cute, little squirrel monkey.
Yeah, I wouldn't fall for it.
Yeah.
There's something creepy about monkeys. I don't know what it is.
The face on some of these.
Yeah.
It's like almost a person face, so that kind of weirds you out a little bit. But some of the other ones, like these little cute ones, these capuchin monkeys. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, I'd risk an ear. Just to hang out with one for a day.
I used to say bears were cute until somebody told me, Google bear with no hair. Like a hairless bear.
Terrifying.
They're nasty looking. They look like demon devil animals or something.
Terrifying. I do have a crazy monkey story now that I'm thinking about this.
Well, by all means, please.
So my uncle and my aunt, rest in peace, both.
Your monkey's uncle?
My aunt, my aunt Dee and my uncle Bill always had this thing for animals. They didn't have kids, so they always had. And my aunt, when she was down in Central America, someone was selling baby monkeys outside the airport, and she felt terrible because she thought that they were using them for food. So she bought a baby monkey and smuggled it on the plane back, and they had a monkey. They had a monkey in their house. It was super smart. It had its own little room in the basement with a big cage in the room. And one day, the monkey used to be able to sneak out of the cage and then go back in and lock itself up when he heard their car come. But they left paint out. The monkey popped open the paint cans and started painting all the walls. But it had paint all over it. It had paint. There had monkey paw paint things all over the upstairs and the kitchen and everything. My uncle comes home, and the monkey's sitting in the cage like, I didn't do anything wrong. Couldn't understand. Anyways, long story short, my uncle used to drink with the monkey. The monkey, my Uncle Bill used to like every day he'd have 2 highballs before he went to bed, and he would do a shot with the monkey, a shot of Jack Daniels. And one day he did a shot of Jack Daniels with the monkey.
You're making this up.
I swear to God, I'm not making it up. He did a shot of Jack Daniels with the monkey, and he went to the bathroom. And when he came back, the monkey had done like a whole bunch more shots, and the monkey died instantly at the table.
The monkey died of alcohol poisoning.
It was an alcoholic monkey. Yeah.
And what town did they live in?
They lived in Springfield, right behind the UCO Mall.
Where it was the monkey hanging out down at the lift-the-latch every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever buys a house behind the Eastfield Mall and they're digging their backyard and they find what they think to be a weird skeleton, it's just an alcoholic monkey.
It's my uncle's monkey. My uncle's liver cirrhosis infested monkey that died.
True story.
But the part of the story where you're like, oh, you're so cute. No, there's nothing cute about that. Like
you got to see some of these pictures. Google squirrel
I'm
monkey.
sure Charlotte Nash thought that Coco, whatever the hell that chimpanzee's name was cute until he ripped her face off.
Yeah, but chimpanzees, those things have like 6 times the strength of a human.
Would you trust a monkey?
I would trust a squirrel monkey. I just saw this little picture. They're cute. They're little. They're like 2-3 pounds. I'd trust a squirrel monkey.
I don't know. If I
chimpanzee, I'd have trouble trusting. A baby chimpanzee, I would be game for. But here's a great question.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees. How many chimpanzees do you think could fight Shaquille O'Neal? And how many do you think it would take to beat up Shaquille O'Neal?
We just talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I think Shaq is pretty strong. I think he can handle his own.
Superhuman strength, right? I think I'd have to look this up, but I think he said something like 6. He felt he could take 6 chimpanzees.
He could take on 6?
Yeah, which I wouldn't doubt. That's a strong-willed guy.
I wouldn't want to take on any of them. I don't even like going to zoos. I'm not a big fan of zoos.
But you gotta
most of the animals are just sitting there. I remember going to the zoo up in Syracuse years ago with the kids and my wife, and we were walking around. It was like one of the hottest days in July. And all like the lion's just sitting there with his boys hanging out, baking in the sun. Like, none of them care. They're not doing you're hoping that they would do something for you to make your kids laugh, but they're just animals. They're hot. They're miserable. They are stuck inside of an enclosure. They don't want to be there either.
I feel that way sort of about the zoos now, or like even some of the things like the Big E with the elephant and all that stuff. I feel terrible with that stuff. There are zoos, though, that rescue zoo animals. I think Lupa, I could be wrong, but I think Lupa in Ludlow does that.
Yeah, well, the Westfield Animal Sanctuary, they do a lot of good work out there with taking in injured animals.
Do they have monkeys?
No monkeys. It's not an exotic zoo.
Well,
I don't know. Does the Lupa Zoo take exotic animals?
The Lupa Zoo has little monkeys, and these squirrel monkeys. I'm telling you, Steve, they're real cute. You got to Google squirrel monkey. I would go.
Listen, I can Google squirrel monkeys, and I can say, "Ooh, they're so cute."
They're cute,
but I wouldn't want one in my hand. I don't want one anywhere near me.
Well, listen, if anyone from Lupa Zoo is listening, I will come there, and I will take the risk. I'll put an ear on the line to play with a few of the monkeys there.
Okay.
It'll just a video, just for us. I'll send it to you. We'll post it on Facebook or something.
Yeah. They're cute.
See?
They're cute, but I wouldn't want one. No, I wouldn't want one. They're creepy.
Just a little monkey on your shoulder?
I already had a monkey on my back for years. I don't need one on my shoulder. Yeah.
Just you on your Peloton with a monkey on your back?
Give me advice. One more juicy push there, Steve-O. Mine would be smoking Marlboros.
The double monkey?
Yeah, mine would be smoking Marlboros and drinking Old English 800. Like, that's the kind of monkey that would be at my house.
Then it would be very similar to my Uncle Bill's monkey.
It would be like the monkey in Family Guy who scares Chris away for the weekend, then just to turn up classic rock music and roll his joints on his bed. Jumping gears here. You ever been out to dinner with friends and then, somebody does this, let's split everything evenly. A new poll found a third of us don't think splitting a restaurant bill evenly is a good idea unless everyone's order costs exactly the same.
Normally, I would say, what do you really care? If it's all in the same ballpark. But it's real annoying when you go out to eat with people and then there's the one that's like, let me get a Johnny Blue on the rocks. Let me get this. And You know half your bill is in their wine and their stuff.
Yeah. Years ago, I went out with my wife to one of her work events.
Yeah.
Right? And there was like 30 people at this restaurant for this person's birthday that they were celebrating.
Okay.
And at the end, then somebody says, no, we're all paying separately. So this poor waitress had to like go around and figure out who had what and figure out what. And I'm like, listen, why don't you just do it this way? Let's say you only had one drink. You give $5. That way you got money for the drink and you got money towards the tip at the end.
Right.
That's it. You got maybe you had a dinner. All right, the dinner's $15. Put in $20 and we'll call it a day.
Now you got to make this girl go back and do
Every
calculus.
single person. It's like, come on.
That's the nightmare. That is the nightmare.
You know, I can see, like let's say you and I go out for lunch.
Yeah.
We'll split it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But it's right down the middle. I'm not going to go, I only had a hamburger and Marty had a steak.
And if we went to lunch and I go, give me the filet, and you had a chicken sandwich, I know we're not splitting that down the middle.
No, we'll take separate checks.
Right, separate checks, or I'm going to say,
I'll give more money at the end, depending on whatever.
Just ring him up for $20 and put the rest on mine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So,
make it easy for the waitress.
But the idea that people try to do this whole, let's split the check at the end,
I'm with you.
that's got to be so frustrating to somebody, slewing drinks and food all afternoon.
Back before I was a comedian, when I used to actually make, real decent money, I would just always pick up a check when I went to dinner with whoever because I didn't want that nightmare for the waitress. You know what I mean? I'd pick up the check and I just give her the tip.
I know. I'm like that too. It's like convenience. It's like, listen, this is going to be more convenient. I'm the kind of person that needs to sit down. This frustrates the hell out of me. If within the first few minutes you don't know what you want on the menu, that's a big problem for me.
See,
you should be looking at the menu as soon as you sit down so you're ready to tell the server when they come over that what you want. We don't need a few extra minutes.
We were doing so good to be lunch buddies right up until this point because that is one of my character flaws. When I'm indecisive with menus and I always want to defer to the waitress and say, I'm torn between this and this. What's better?
Now, I would say that I would excuse it if it didn't have any online access to their menu ahead of time. Like if I said, let's go to this place for lunch and they didn't have an internet website, you couldn't see the menu.
Right.
That's different. But nowadays, where everybody has their menus online, if you don't know what you want before you go in there, I don't want to go to lunch with you.
Well, that's a fair critique.
Yeah.
That's fair. I could make that concession to you if we're going to be lunch buddies. I could research the menu if I know where we're going to eat. But if we're in the car and we just say, hey, we're going to go here, I'm not going to do that research while I'm driving.
No, but you can pull it right up on your phone as soon as you pull into that parking spot.
But sometimes you have to ask the waitress, hey, what's better, this or this? And they'll tell you.
Well, you ask that right when you sit down because you've already studied the menu before you got inside.
All right. Fair point.
I don't like waiting because you know what happens when you tell somebody we need a few extra minutes? They don't come back for like 10 minutes.
That's true. Nowadays.
Not 4 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
Yep.
And now I'm hungrier. And now my food hasn't been put in yet because you wanted to wait.
Fair enough. You seem real angry about this.
I have a little issue with this.
Get some anger.
But anyway, 2/3 of people said if someone asked to try their food, they'd consider not going out to eat with them again.
Oh, to try like off their plate?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
46% said that's a red flag on a first date.
Yeah. I don't think it's a red flag on a first date, but I think it's a little uncouth.
Can I have some of your tater tots? Like this date is going really well. Can I have some of your potatoes?
That's a weird
vegetables.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Have some of your chicken cacciatore.
I feel like that's one of those things that some guy does to like test the girl to see, you know what I mean? Like, she lets me eat some of this, you know.
Well, most people have admitted that they usually say yes to that request because saying no seems rude when somebody asked for the food off your plate.
Yeah,
you'd have to know them. You'd have to know them well enough to be ordered to be comfortable to do that.
And this is also a post-COVID world too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a little uncouth to be sitting at a table with a bunch of people and say, hey, let me try a bite of that. You know?
If they do say yes, those non-sharers would like you to at least follow the 2 rules. Use your own fork and put it on a separate plate and don't directly eat off theirs.
Yeah, I mean that now you're just a savage. If you just
I do that to my kids all the time.
Yeah,
though.
but they're your kids. You know what
Like,
I mean?
I
If you
know
have-
they're not going to eat the rest of that. I'm like, give me that.
Right.
I'm the garbage disposal.
But they're your kids. If you have COVID, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have COVID, vice versa. It's not. But to be out with like a group of people and one person just goes, yeah, oh, I want to try that pasta. Let me just take my fork and jam it on your plate there. And
Yeah, let me just grab a
spin it around.
meatball or a sausage or
Yeah.
anything like that.
I'm done at that point. I'm not going out to eat anymore.
It's coming up on
It is
8:20.
8:33
Nagle
Rock
and Marty
102,
Caproni.
and
It's
Rock
time for news
102.
brought to you by Gary Roma Hyundai. Rent the all-electric Ioniq 5 for 28 days, and it includes insurance. Try it before you buy it. Marty, take it away.
And now, local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Yes, I should do that every single day. We need to make that happen. Yesterday, 5 people were displaced after an overnight fire on Sumner Avenue in Springfield. Crews responded to the scene and confirmed no reported injuries. There are 5 people now being assisted by the Red Cross, and the cause is under investigation by the Arson and Bomb Squad. There thousands were still without power last night as restoration and cleanup efforts were underway throughout the region. As of last night, 50,000 homes in Massachusetts were in the dark as local DPWs and utility companies worked hard to turn the lights back on. Eversource officials said that they're anticipating a second wave of outages.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, because, once they start repairing one, then you still get another wave of them as lines come down from the ice and the snow, especially up in these higher elevations where they got like the 30 inches. It's crazy. The nor'easter brought heavy snow and high winds along with it, which created widespread power outages throughout the Bay State. Downed power lines and tree branches also complicated cleanup efforts for local DPWs, including in Westfield. According to the department's acting director, Francis Kane. It was kind of a mixed bag storm as far as we had down power lines, and we had to go around power lines doing the cleanup. Roads were blocked off with downed trees and that type of thing, and that was just out of the norm from just removing regular snow from the roads. You have all these obstacles now.
They got double duty. Snow removal, tree removal, line restoration.
Yeah, but there's all different people who do those things. So you got to wait for the tree people to come out. Then you got to wait. Well, first you got to wait for for somebody to report it. Then you get the snowplow guy who has to go around it. Then they have the tree guy come out. Then they have 10 tree guys standing there. One tree guy actually cutting the tree, and then the other one's saying, "Oh, okay, you just throw that in the back of that big grindy truck thing, and then chips it up."
Well, I tell you what, those linemen, the people that come here, they drive all the way in from 1,000 miles away, and they stay in the hotels or whatever.
Yeah,
they're working like 120 hours a week. Those guys are crazy. God bless them, because that's the job.
Yes, it's reflected in my electric bill. I know very well.
Yeah, you got the Eversource. See?
Hell, my bill was $600 this month. They must have been putting them up in the Hampton Inn this weekend.
That's my argument anytime everyone says, you don't want the government involved in everything. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man, because I have municipal electric in Chicopee. It's the lowest in the state, and I've never been without power for more than maybe a half hour tops.
Have you ever stayed in a place where, obviously we travel a lot.
Yes.
There was a ton of people from a group of somebody?
Yeah, well, a lot of times the linemen that I'm talking about,
Right.
I'll be in a hotel, and they know the storm's coming. They're all staying in the hotel before, and those guys drink like sailors. I mean, they turned the lobby into their own personal party den.
I stayed at a DoubleTree up in Syracuse once.
It's nice. You get the free cookie when you check in the DoubleTree, the warm cookie.
But it was also the New York State Fair time, and that was the hotel that the state was renting out.
Oh,
for
no.
all the state troopers. So there was nothing but New York State Trooper vehicles throughout. It looked like a police department that we were staying in.
No fun there for you.
Well, no, actually, you figure that's the safest place you could probably be.
True point. I thought you were going a different direction. I thought you were going to say all the carnies were staying in the DoubleTree.
No, the carnies stay at the whatever that place. It's called the State Fair Inn or something like. It's one of these like that Belmar Motor Lodge we were talking about off
Jersey?
the air in
Yeah.
New Jersey. There's a place called the Belmar Motor Lodge that smells like a dirty foot.
It's the worst. That place. I told you that's one of the only places I refuse to stay in.
Well, we were talking about a mutual comedian friend of ours who
Yes.
had gotten married down there and hired me as his DJ and put me up in the bougie Belmar Motor Lodge. And after staying there for like a couple hours, I'm like, I think I got some kind of skin condition or something after this.
Scabies,
I'm
or
gonna go need to see a dermatologist, and They should have one actually sitting out in the parking lot giving you skin checks.
But that's how you could tell he's a pretty well accomplished traveled comedian, because he's like, Steve will stay in the Belmar. I mean, I've stayed
right.
in
I
worse.
wasn't allowed to stay in the very nice, elegant place that all his family was staying in until the next night. Then I was allowed to do that.
When someone got kicked out of the wedding, or someone got drunk at the rehearsal dinner and they let him go?
I believe somebody may have expelled themselves on the floor.
Oh, there. Oh, God.
Serious story to talk about. A Chicopee police officer is in the ICU after a serious medical event on Sunday. Officer Mark Wilkes was part of the Chicopee Police and Fire Department's annual Battle of the Badges hockey game earlier in the day on Sunday. The department won and Wilkes returned home, but around 7:30 p.m. Wilkes was, quote, not feeling well. He then called 911 and asked for an ambulance. While on the way to the hospital, he suffered a serious medical event that required CPR. These life-saving measures continued the entire ride to the hospital, the department said. As of Tuesday, the department said the officer is still in the ICU. While Officer Wilkes has a long road to recovery, we'd like to thank the Chicopee Fire Department for the care they provided for our brother in blue. We also want to thank all the doctors and nurses that are coming and continuing to care for Officer Wilkes in the hospital. The department also asked for, quote, everyone to keep Officer Wilkes and his family in their thoughts and prayers as he continues to fight. More than 250 people have shared the Facebook post, many continuing to ask others for prayers as well.
I do have a slight update to that story, Steve.
Sure.
A friend of mine on the department texted me and said that there is not a GoFundMe link yet, but they are working on it. But if anyone wants to call to see what they can do to help, other than, obviously keeping in their thoughts and prayers, if they want to, they can call the public information officer at Chicopee Police Department and speak with them.
There you go. A woman was arrested in connection with a deadly stabbing in East Hampton on Tuesday. According to the Northwestern DA's office spokesperson Lori Loisel, East Hampton police were called to a home on Koldoff Street at about 3:10 a.m. where a man was found suffering from multiple stab wounds. The 23-year-old man was taken to Bay State Medical Center in Springfield, where he died due to his injuries. The suspect, a 23-year-old woman, was arrested on a single count of murder in connection with his death. She's scheduled to be arraigned in Northampton District Court today. This is the first homicide in East Hampton since 2012. A man who appeared on Family Feud is accused of murdering his estranged wife, according to reports. 39-year-old Timothy Blifnick, former contestant on the game show back in 2020, is facing first-degree murder and home invasion charges in connection with the death of Rebecca Blifnick of Quincy, Illinois. The mother of three was discovered shot to death inside her home along Kentucky Road on February 23rd. Timothy was taken into custody on March 13th. While the investigation continues, the Quincy Police Department called Timothy Blifnick's arrest a significant step forward in the search for justice for Rebecca. Authorities say Rebecca's death has shaken the community. This brutal crime has had the Quincy community on edge and our residents living in fear, the department noted on their Facebook page. But no longer is the case, because we have him in custody.
Survey says going to jail.
Yeah. The couple married in 2009, but were going through divorce proceedings at the time of Rebecca's death. The outlet reported that court records related to the Blifnicks were removed from Illinois Public Records website, and a judge ordered them to be sealed. Josh Jones, lead trial attorney for Adams County State Attorney, said Rebecca's killing was not a random act of violence, but it's important for the community to recognize the death for what it is, an act of domestic violence. The Department of Children and Family Services, along with a Quincy police detective, have been in contact with the Blifnick children. So really the only reason why this story is coming to the forefront is because the guy happened to be a contestant on Family Feud.
That's it. Slow news day.
Because these are
National news.
Not that it's not a serious story, but these things happen every day.
I just find that.
But how many people does it happen to that's a Family Feud contestant?
Well, I feel like that show's cursed. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but I think up until now, I think Steve Harvey's the host now, maybe, or something like that. But the last two hosts, I think, one killed himself, or maybe they both killed themselves. Richard Dawson and somebody else.
Richard Dawson didn't kill himself.
He didn't?
No, it was the other guy. It wasn't Richard Dawson.
Oh, so the other guy killed himself. I'm not a big game show guy, Steve.
Here, Family Feud host.
All right, we're jumping in right now.
Yeah, we gotta H-O. Why does it come out like that? Horses. I didn't put horses. Richard Dawson, Ray Combs.
That's the one.
That's the guy that killed himself, I think. John O'Hurley, Richard Karn, Louis Anderson and Steve Harvey.
Louis Anderson, huh?
Yeah.
Good guy.
He's not coming back to host that show.
Nope.
Again.
No, he's not.
No.
Nope.
Let's see. One man is being held on $20,000 bail after being arrested this past Sunday in Ware. 64-year-old Michael Hunt was charged with indecent assault and battery on a child under 14, along with intimidation of a witness. He was also held for violation of probation from previous cases out of Franklin and Worcester counties. Hunt was arraigned at the Eastern Hampshire District Court in Belchertown on Monday.
That first name again, Steve?
I believe it's pronounced Michael Hunt.
Correct.
Yeah. I believe that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get too messed up with that one.
Mikhail's a nice pronunciation. We'll go with the Russian pronunciation.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be cloudy with a high of 40 with some flurries possible throughout the day, but the winter storm warning is over. High of 48 for tomorrow and sunny. It's 36 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Yeah. Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 8:50 in the Foo Fighters on Rock 102. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 40. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 48. It is currently 38 right now in downtown Springfield. Again, if you've been listening all morning and you're like, what the hell is going on? Why is this other voice with us in the studio? Well, Bax is out sick. He's fine. He's going to be okay. He's not dying or anything. He's not being fired, but people have been suggesting. He will be back. I don't know what day, but Marty here is, we're blessed with his presence, if you will.
Blessed?
Blessed.
Wow.
Well, otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this I can't do this job by myself. I need somebody else to,
you could
talk back and forth with.
Well, you could do it by yourself.
I don't know if I can. I guess if I needed to, I could.
It's fun to do it, though. We don't get to catch up as much anymore, so now we just got to do it early in the morning instead of late after a show.
That's right. Do you like beer? Are you a beer guy? You drink?
I do like beer, Steve.
Yeah. I'm glad you said you did that because I'm going into a story about beer.
Oh well, what is that story?
That was my gear shifting without pushing the clutch in.
Very nice, as we call in the biz. Very nice segue.
Yeah,
Steve.
and you heard the gears grind as I pushed it into second. If you love beer mainly for the taste, you're probably reaching for a Coors Light. Maybe. Well, whatever.
Disagree, but okay.
Anyway, there's a new way to enjoy that delicious flavor. Coors Light is releasing limited edition beer-flavored popsicles. They're meant to coincide with March Madness, which just started, and they're non-alcoholic. So the whole family can enjoy them together.
Oh, great. Get the kids another beer popsicle.
For all the things about, these mothers against drunk driving and stop. You're grooming your kids with alcohol-flavored popsicles in order for them to go out and just want to try the real thing.
It's the candy cigarette of the beer world.
Yeah, basically it is.
Remember those when you were a kid? Candy cigarettes.
They still sell them. At the store by my house in Huntington sells them.
That's probably the original stock from 1983.
But they're the hard candy ones. remember the bubble gum ones?
Yes, and you could blow the smoke out.
It was the sugar off the top. You could blow it like you were smoking a cigarette. See, they should be doing that again.
But now instead, kids are getting beersicles.
Yes, well, they're called Corsicles, and they're available at more than 800 bars throughout the country. You can order a six-pack of them through their online shop for $20. Yeah, but by the time you order the packaging and everything else, they're gonna have to ship it in dry ice, unless they sell them in like a those the freeze pops that they sell thawed, and then you put them in the freezer yourself.
Well, what kind of jerk is gonna go to a bar and order a round of non-alcoholic beersicles?
Probably somebody who said, "Hey, I heard about this on a radio show. Guys, check it out. It's Corsicles."
Let me tell you something. Shameless plug. But if I see people at Loft Comedy Club just sitting there in the crowd while I'm standing on stage sucking on a beersicle, it's all over. It's all over.
I guess we're glad the Schlitz company didn't come up with these.
Yeah, or PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, who wants a Schlitzicle? See, that sounds bad.
Yeah, it does.
Schlitzicle.
It does.
See,
that guy from Ware earlier in the story would definitely not want one.
Mikhail Hoont. Yes. By the way, you can also enter to win a six-pack at CoorsLight.com/Corsicles. Speaking of limited college basketball products, though,
Yeah.
Hormel is holding a contest where you can win a pack of bacon, which was smoked with scraps from the maple wood used to make this year's March Madness Championship court.
It's a real big stretch to get people involved. Huh?
You know, this is the thing. It's like there used to be this guy that we would have on every time, like Boston sports would win something.
Yes.
He was from this mint. It was like I can't remember the name of the mint.
Franklin Mint?
Something like that,
Okay.
right? And it was like, oh, we have some dirt from Fenway Park in caps, and then they had it was a well done like plaque with the picture, like a panoramic view of Fenway Park, and saying the 2004 World Series, it was 2007 when we were talking to this guy, 2007 World Series championship, and then they had, this is a piece of dirt from home plate. Well, how do I know that? How do I know that you're not just taking clay from some other ball field throughout the country that you can pretty much stop at any
I got a better
school?
question. What do you care? I'm a huge Red Sox fan. Do I need a teaspoon of home plate dirt mounted in my house?
No, but it's like, it's just like any sports team where, like, we won. Well, what did you win? Did you win a championship ring? Because I don't think you did. I think the only thing you won was actually shelling out money for a ticket or the beers that you bought at the bar that you were watching the game on.
Right. Well, in this case, you don't even have a collectible. You just got a slab of bacon that you're going to stuff in your fat face and watch the game.
Oh, but it tastes like the smoked wood floor of the March Madness Championship court.
It tastes like sneaker residue and sweat.
This goes along the line. What I was talking to you about the other day. I'm now a Peloton douche.
Yes, you are.
This is what I'm doing. But I also, over the summer I purchased a smoker. So I'm a smoker douche
What
too.
kind of smoker did you get?
It was the
Traeger?
No, I did.
Okay,
See, I
good.
couldn't justify spending $2,000 on a grill.
That's what I was gonna
bought
ask.
the $300 one at Tractor Supply that was already put together.
Perfect.
And you know what? It works just as good
Yep.
because I'm not this guy going to be, doing. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, this is just going all the way.
Right.
Like, you're so into March Madness that the piece of meat that was smoked, you're concerned about that it came that it was smoked from the
floor.
maple wood of the floor that was used to have the basketball game.
And let's be honest, right? Like, how many people are gonna how much maple wood are you actually throwing in there to smoke? They're throwing one
Probably
plank of
not a
maple
lot
wood,
at all.
smoking 900 pounds of bacon.
Yeah.
And then they're hoping some idiot buys it. Whoever worked for Hormel and came up with that idea had to be smoking something else besides maple floor to come up with.
But you know what?
We're gonna
Well, you know what? Good job, Jim. You get the company condo for the weekend. We have a company condo in the Poconos.
and all the chili you could have, all the Hormel chili you could have.
Being out in the beautiful Poconos of Midwestern Pennsylvania and eating Hormel chili. Delicious. It's 8:58 with Bax and Nagle and Marty Caproni here on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.